They put their heart and soul into the game with a vision of winning for themselves and their country. They put in countless hours perfecting their skills while making so that they will taste victory. These are our athletes, and now it's time to meet them up close.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Up Close with yours truly, Colin Thompson, featuring another one of our star athletes, none other than Miss Jessica Cooper-Lewis. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure indeed. It's great to see you. I haven't seen you in quite some time.
Yeah, it has been a while.
You know, you've been living out of a suitcase here lately.
Yes.
Fresh on the island.
Yep.
Yeah, tell us all about that. You would just come back from the Paralympics in Paris, France.
Yes.
How romantic.
How
How was it?
Oh, it was an amazing experience. Paris did a phenomenal job in hosting the games, and I was just so honored to be there to compete at my fourth games with Bermuda on my back.
Mhm. And fourth games.
Yes.
Wow, that's one would be a treat. Four of them.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did it go for you?
It went really well. I was fifth in 100 meter, and then I was seventh in 400 meter in the T53 classification. And I had just recently switched to working with a new coach, Jeff Harris, last year. So this was kind of our first really big international competition together. So I was really grateful to have his support there, and I think we put all of the hard work that we've done over this past year into those races, and I'm proud to have executed the races that I did.
Okay, you're in competition mode. You're way down the track. Let's slow it up. Let's slow it up. First of all, what is it that you do? What type of sport? What did they classify your sport as?
So my sport's called para-athletics, and I compete in the sprint distances, 100 and 400 meter. I used to do 800 meter, but it's way too far now. So I've cut it down just to the sprints. And in para sport, we're all put into different classifications, so that we compete against people of our same disability level, so that it's a fair playing field. So I'm in the T53 classification, which basically means that the 50 classes are impairments to the spine. And then 53 means that I don't have a lot of core muscle or control. So that's why I've been put into that classification. And then you have 51s, 52s, which would be your quadriplegics. So that's all four limbs affected. And then the class above me is 54. And that's kind of like the highest functioning class for wheelchair racers.
Wow. Wow, amazing, amazing. And if memory serves me correct, I believe you're the first to represent Bermuda at the Paralympics. Is that correct?
I'm the first in para-athletics.
Para
We had a few Paralympians in equestrian beforehand. Yeah,
Okay, so the first in para athletics.
para-athletics. Yeah.
Ah, okay. A trailblazer.
Yes.
Trailblazer Jessica.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. So you had a great time in Paris. What about as far as your performances? I mean, you fifth is not too far off the podium, and I know you really wanted to get on that podium. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Paris definitely was the first games where I felt like really calm going into it, just because I had so much belief in the hard work that Jeff and I had put in over this past year. And I was really hopeful. I was going in with the third fastest time for this year. And I think if I would have done that time in the race, I would have been on the podium. But a lot of the times, you don't see a lot of the competitors throughout the year. So they kind of just show up and you're like, oh my gosh, they're so fast too. So I was definitely hopeful to be on the podium. But I know I'm still really proud of the race that I executed. And I think just having that switch with Jeff last year, I kind of had to relearn how to compete because we changed everything about my training styles, even my racing chair position. So I think in this next 4 years leading into LA, I think we'll really see the impact that Jeff has had on my career.
All right, all right. So
Yeah.
you're started. The road to LA has already begun. The journey to LA has already begun.
Yep, Paris is a check
Uh,
mark, and now we move forward.
But definitely expectations would have been high going in with the third fastest time. Unfortunately, you ran a bit in the unknown. Like you
Yep.
said, you didn't know what a lot of the other competitors you hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
And I think you probably were a bit more relaxed because you didn't have to do the 800.
Yes. I was very thankful for that. I saw some of my competitors who were doing the 800 and they're like, "Are you in it?" I'm like, "Nope." No way, one too many laps.
Wow, wow, wow. So what's it like being in that arena, that stage? I mean, I was watching you on TV back home, and I was like, wow, like I mean, it just looks so awesome.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It's such a big difference from what Tokyo was because Tokyo, we weren't allowed to have anybody in the stands. So I almost kind of forgot what it felt like to be in a stadium with that many people. And in Paris, most of the sessions were sold out. So that stadium was really packed, really loud, and it was just a really, really cool experience to be surrounded by that much support and encouragement. And it was an awesome experience.
And I would imagine so, and that kind of primes me, cues me up for the next question. For athletes, for you and your fellow athletes, um, this is a wonderful opportunity, isn't it? To go out there and experience, be able to compete with,
Yeah,
obviously, you have a disorder, but there's still something you can do.
exactly.
Is that something you all appreciate?
Absolutely. Sport has just opened up my entire world. And it's given me the confidence in myself. And it's given me the chance to accept that I have a disability. And just because I have that, it's not a bad thing. And, I can still have really big dreams for myself. I can still work hard and I can still achieve incredible things.
Mm.
Yeah.
And not only have you been to the Olympics, the Paralympics, but what are some of the other events that you've done, and you've done quite well.
Yes. I've competed at, I think, 5 world championships now. I did get a bronze medal in 2015 in the 100-meter. And then I've also competed at the Pan American Games a few times. And in Santiago last year, I won the gold and set the games record for the third time at those games. So I was really happy to kind of hang on to that title. And I'm looking forward to 2027, which hopefully I can still do it again.
Yes, definitely. You certainly got your work cut out,
Yes.
or you got it mapped out, I should
Yeah.
say. Got it mapped out. You know what you got to do.
Yes.
And I'm glad to hear this, that you're still, going at it, going for it,
Absolutely.
Is this a sport that, you can have, a long career, longevity in this sport?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the impact isn't as much as kind of like a runner has on their knees. We do obviously take a lot of impact into the shoulders in the sport, but there is definitely a longevity. There is an athlete in Canada who he's still way at the top of the game, and he won gold in Paris, and he's 44, I think. There was also another athlete that was on the podium that was 61. So there's a lot of time to go, hopefully.
61. Wow, that's amazing. Wow. That's amazing. So you probably be doing the 50-meter by there.
Yes. Oh, I would love a 50-meter race. I'm so quick off the start. It's like that would be great.
Actually, and that's what happened in Paris, wasn't it? You had good starts.
Yeah.
Yep, and then, just, couldn't carry it through.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit a challenge for me because a lot of the competitors that I compete with are individuals who have acquired their disability. So it is a little bit different for me who was born with it. So for a person that has an acquired disability, they kind of had a full functioning able body beforehand. So they have all those muscles and kind of the structure in their backs to support that. So it does become a little bit more challenging in that respect. But I'm definitely still gonna give it my all to compete against them.
So that you were at a disadvantage. I know that you said they try to level the playing field,
Yeah,
but they weren't, unlike you, they weren't born that
yeah,
good. So they did have some development.
yeah,
Interesting. That's interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting. So, how long have you been at this now? When did you start?
So I started in 2000. Well, I was introduced to the sport in 2006 at a sports expo that Windreach Bermuda held, and they brought down athletes and coaches from Canada and the States in a few different sports. And at that, they brought down Ken Tom, who was my first coach, who unfortunately passed away in 2017. And then I transitioned to working with his son Curtis Tom, who he was a racer for Canada. And when his dad passed away, he was kind of retiring at the same time out of the sport, and offered to coach me. And then I switched to Jeff last year. So 2006 was when I first started, but I didn't start competing until 2010.
And where did you make your debut? Where was your first race?
I was at Dixie Games in Tampa, Florida, and I think my 100-meter was like 24 seconds, something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
That,
oh, so what was it like? You know, the adrenaline was going,
yeah.
nerves. What was that like?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of nerves definitely, and I think at that point, I was just so excited to be representing Bermuda for the first time at a competition, and I was just so excited to learn everything that I could about this sport and to see how far I could take it.
Now, just recently, you were the flag bearer as well for Bermuda at the Paralympics in France.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, you're competing. You're flying the Bermuda banner. Is that an honor for you?
Absolutely, a huge, huge honor, and I still get goosebumps thinking about when they hand you the flag, and just having the knowledge that I have such a amazing country behind me, and I get to be that representative for this country in a sport that I absolutely love, and I get to do it on the world stage is amazing.
Yeah, you had created a big buzz back home. You had a lot of support, and I could imagine that just gives you a big confidence boost, a big lift.
Absolutely, yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
you proud. Stick out your
Yes.
chest.
Yeah. Yeah, the support in Bermuda has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm so, so incredibly grateful for it.
Mhm. Do you see yourself also, as an inspiration for maybe others to come, and find themselves and dealing with the same condition?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to have someone come along and follow in this sport for Bermuda as well. A lot of the individuals in Bermuda, though, are individuals that have cognitive impairments, so they would fall under the Special Olympics. So we are definitely searching for people that are on the physical side to come along. And so if you guys know anybody, send them our way.
All right. There you have it, folks. If you know anybody, pass on the good word. Good word. Wow. So you mentioned Tokyo, you mentioned so many other jurisdictions. Where are some of the other places your sport has taken you?
I've competed as far as Australia,
Straight
which was a really, really
on.
cool. Yeah.
Wow. What was that event?
It's a series called Summer Down Under, and they have two track meets and then a 10K race on the road, which is just wheelchair racers, which is such a cool experience to be a part of. And you actually get to race by the Opera House, so that was a really cool thing to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, Australia's a beautiful place.
it
I've
is.
never been there, but
Yeah.
what the flight though? How do you deal with that?
Oh my
How
gosh.
long was the flight?
It was very long. I think, we went through San Francisco to get there, but I don't remember exactly how long the flight, but it was very long.
You crashed out?
Yes.
Maybe a few times.
Yes.
Are we there yet?
I
No?
know.
Go back sleep.
Exactly.
Wow, wow. So, you started in 2006, you said, and, before then, what were some of the other things that you used to do,
So yeah, I was involved with Windridge since the age of 5, and I got involved in wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis, horseback riding, so I did it all.
Oh,
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah, I love that was my first love.
Oh,
But then we didn't have enough people to make a team. So if I wanted to represent Bermuda, I had to pick an individual sport. And I just loved the speed of track and was sold.
wow. So in the basketball, are they the conventional positions? You have your point guard and
Yep.
yeah, they have this.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was your position?
We didn't really kind of play in
Uh,
positions. We kind of just went with it and had fun. But yeah,
And where did you used to play that?
we used to play at Windreach and then also at the Bermuda High School. They let us use the gym on Saturdays.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So you score a lot of points?
I did. Yeah, I like to shoot.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. And equestrian
Yep.
as well.
Yeah. Yes, I was on a horse from the age of 5 until probably 13. Yeah.
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 You like horseback riding?
I do, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you still do it?
I don't know.
No.
No, yeah. My main focus is just track now. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Don't wanna risk injury in something else, so
Right, right. But that did spring to mind, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, you've got a lot more to lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, you're out there doing your thing
Yeah.
in your sport and going all over the world. You
Yeah.
know. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I didn't know that you were involved in all those other sports. So you're definitely an all-rounder.
Yes, absolutely. And, actually, I was very fortunate, to be sent by the Bermuda Paralympic Association to, be a spectator at the Beijing 2008 Paralympic Games. And there we were, kind of just, seeing what was involved in getting to that games, and also to kind of decide what sport we wanted to pursue as well. And I remember sitting in the Bird's Nest Stadium with, like, 80,000 people, and, I was like, "This is the sport, this is what I wanna do," and, I turned to my mom and I said, "In London in 4 years, I'm gonna be down on that track racing," and that's what happened, so
Wow, 80,000?
80,000 people, yeah.
Well, that's Bermuda's population.
Yep,
And then some.
yep. I know, and when I was racing in London, they had 80,000 as well in the stands there, so all of Bermuda and some could fit.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can handle all that, you know.
I was definitely nervous in London, for sure.
You took it all in
Yeah,
stride.
yeah,
I got this. Relax.
yeah.
I got this. Wow, wow. So, you know, what is it like for someone like you know, having been dealt this hand, you know, what sort of emotional toll did it take early before you got into all the other activities? What was it like? Was there ever a moment you said, "Why me?"
Absolutely. I definitely went through a phase in my childhood that I absolutely hated that I had a disability, and I would actually wish for the ability to walk. And I hated if anybody asked me about it, and I think it just stemmed from being different from everyone that I was at school with. And I think when I got involved with Windreach, they really opened up my eyes to meeting other people that were like me. And opened up my eyes to knowing that I could still create a life for myself, even being in a wheelchair. So I owe so much to Windreach and my incredible family as well, who always allowed me to try new things and never held me back. So I owe a lot to my family and Windreach.
Definitely so, and credit to them.
Yeah.
Credit to them. And also, you know, you said, you know, going in school, what was it like in school? People looked at you, or you know, what was that like, that experience?
Yeah, so more in my early years, just as my classmates were just trying to learn more about me and why I was different. But VHS also did a phenomenal job in, allowing me to just be like everybody else and treated me the same way as everybody else, which was definitely a huge thing that was so important to me. So I owe them as well a lot to my upbringing and just my um, ability to have confidence in myself.
That's great, because you need that support, and the last thing you need is, you know, people looking at you and treating you like you're different.
Yes.
You know, so fair play to BHS as well.
Yes. Yep.
Was it BHS you said?
VHS. Yeah.
BHS, okay.
Yeah.
I make sure I got that right.
Yeah.
And what was it that, you know, in those moments, you know, when, you're feeling, you know, you're not feeling good about the situation, what was it that, you know, inspired you, that lifted you up? What was it that you look for that source of inspiration?
I definitely think it was sports. It definitely gave me a happy place and a place to kind of forget everything else that was happening and focus on the game or whatever it was. And it really just helped me know that I am a strong person and I can do whatever I set my mind to.
And sport, you're looking at sport. What sort of sports or other sports you watch on TV? What sports?
I actually don't watch many
No?
sports.
No?
I just like to participate in them. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I thought maybe you're looking at other athletes or whatever the
Yeah.
case.
Well, I guess in para-athletics, I do watch a lot of para-athletics.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you might watch EPL
Yeah.
or you know, Champions League.
Yeah. No.
You might be a Liverpool fan or whoever. I don't know.
Actually, my roommate, she is a big ice hockey fan, so I've been watching a little bit more of that with her. But yeah,
Okay. I'm
that's
asking you.
about it. Yeah,
I'm asking you all.
yeah,
There's hockey fans enough.
yeah,
Ah, that's hilarious. Okay, so you're being you're watching a lot of hockey
yes.
and I get, are you gonna pick a team?
I don't think so.
Van Gretzky's team. I know he's been off the scene for
Yeah,
a while, but that was the last time I was watching
yeah,
a little bit of Van Gretzky. That's all I did.
yeah,
Van Gretzky.
yeah,
So that's been quite a while. He's
yeah,
been off the scene for quite a while. So that tells you how much
yeah,
I've been in, how much interest I've had in
yeah,
in hockey.
yeah.
Ah, so that's interesting. But you don't follow any other sport? No. Okay,
No,
so no basketball, nothing.
not really.
No?
Nope.
Oh wow. So what about other things you like to do when you're in your quiet time? You like music or
Uh,
tell us more about Jessica. We know a bit about the Jessica the athlete. Now what
yeah.
about Jessica the person?
I love to read. Reading has always been something. Well, actually, not always. I just started like falling in love with it a couple of years ago. But I definitely usually always have a book with me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What sort of books you like?
Anything really. Yeah.
Yeah. You go down to the library sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah.
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 I like to go there as well.
Yeah.
I go into microfilm and go back in. I like history.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're used to me. They know me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either there or the Bermuda archives. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 And I actually did some reading yesterday,
Oh
but it puts me sleep.
yeah.
Struggling. I read about, a couple pages and I'm crashing out.
Yeah.
So I'm gotta work on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, I just got a Kindle actually, so that's been a lot easier to travel with than trying to travel with like 18 books at a time. So
Right.
like yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And it's so convenient now.
it is.
Technology,
Yeah,
yeah, you got all the books you can download and
exactly.
yeah. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I see people in church, and they read
Oh yeah.
scripture. Yeah, they just pull it up on their
Yeah.
on their phone and like, I'm with you, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Wow. So how about music? You like music?
A little bit.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone loves
Yeah.
music. Come on, Jess.
I'm a big
Everyone loves music.
I'm a big Swiftie, I'll say that.
Taylor?
Yes.
Taylor Swift.
Yes.
All right. Why?
I just like her music. I think yeah,
Okay.
she has some really good messages in her music and
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other music you like? Any other genre?
Probably country.
Country?
Country is my big yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Much to my roommate's
Country
dismay.
girl.
Yes. Yeah, my roommate, she's very, into, like, rap and hip hop, and I'm definitely on the
She's hot.
other end of the spectrum. Yeah. Yeah.
What a combination.
Yeah,
That's balance. You gotta have the balance.
exactly.
All right. So any other things you like? Just going
I
out
think
for a little stroll
yeah,
outdoors and
yeah,
whatever. Get the fresh air, enjoy the fresh air.
exactly, yeah, and just spending time with friends and family, and yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm just amazed. There's so many things you've done. I didn't know anything about the other sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it? You said equestrian, you said basketball
Basketball,
and
tennis.
tennis.
Yeah.
Tell us about the tennis. What's that about?
So I used to do it with Paul Alves, who was a tennis player as well, a wheelchair tennis player, at Grotto Bay. He used to work down there, and so I used to go and had a lot of fun doing that too. Yeah.
All right. So what was your strength? You had the power serve good?
Yes. Yeah. I wasn't very good like in a rally, but I could serve pretty well.
All right. So I'm gonna I'm gonna blow you away with the serve.
Exactly.
An ace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ace you.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into this long rallies. I'm gonna avoid that.
Yep.
Wow, wow. And where did you play again? Where did
Grotto Bay.
At Grotto Bay?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So do you still get up? You don't do that
No,
art,
I don't
right?
know. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
strictly athletic.
Strictly athletics.
So
Yeah.
so so tell us, when you're preparing for these events, what does it entail? What's your regiment like?
Yeah, so one of the major pieces is obviously making sure that the racing chair is working properly, and making sure that it's aligned. So the wheels on the chair, sometimes you can have a little bit of a camber to them, but I've just switched to 9-degree camber, so it's pretty much almost up straight, because it's designed to be a 100-meter chair that goes straight. You do need a little bit more of a camber when you're going through the turns, just to keep it stable. But I have been doing both races with the 9-degree. Um, So making sure that that's all correct and that the chair is actually tracking straight. And then just kind of making sure that I'm mentally prepared, and if I'm having any nerves or anything like that, to talk with my coach. And then just having faith in the work that we put in.
And then, physically,
Mhm.
it's all upper arms. So,
Yeah.
you're doing a lot of weight, a lot of resistance and
Yeah. So we train 6 days a week, and 3 of those days, or sometimes four, are in the gym as well, lifting weights, just working on strength development as well as power output. And then the other days we're in our racing chair, and some days we'll have a combination of weights and racing chair as well. So it's a busy schedule.
does nutrition play a part in all this?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. We have to just make sure that we get a lot of protein to help to rebuild the muscle that we're breaking down, and just to be smart and healthy with the choices that we make.
And as far as the equipment, you just alluded to the equipment and, the technology. And so the wheels are cambered,
Mhm.
because I did see them coming in.
Yeah,
And I didn't know what that was all about. I just
yeah,
thought about maybe that's the flavor nowadays.
yeah,
I don't know all the technical side of it all, but thanks for explaining that.
yeah.
Um, but is it an expensive sport to compete in?
Very expensive, yeah. The racing chairs, there's definitely a lot of research and money has gone into making advancements in the way that the racing chair is made. So you can have a racing chair that's um, kind of like on the lower end, which is about $7,000, $8,000. And then Honda has just started making a racing chair that's fully carbon fiber, and those run about 50,000. So it's quite a spectrum of things that you can get. So the racing chairs that I've been in have been the aluminum chairs that have parts of it that are carbon fiber as well. So my steering is carbon fiber and my front fork. Um, and then that was probably, I think, 7,000 I paid for that. And then with the modifications that I made with my coach last year, it was probably about 5,000 to make those changes. So, yeah,
And then the travel expenses.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yes, that's a lot goes into this, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
But
Yeah,
it's serious business,
it is.
and you're really into it, and that enthusiasm, I can feel it. I can.
I love it.
I mean, you're ready to go now.
Yeah, I am. I know I'm on like a 4 week break right now, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, I want to be back in my chair. Yeah.
So, are you always based here, or do you go overseas to train?
Yeah, so I'm actually based out of Victoria, British Columbia in Canada. I moved there, actually was just a year ago on the 14th, was when I moved there to work with Jeff. So I'm based there most of the year.
So, how did that transition go? I mean, it's nice and warm here, and
Yeah.
it's cool out there.
Yeah.
How you dealing with the cold?
Not bad because I was actually in Ontario for 12 years before this,
Okay.
with my other two coaches,
Oh,
Ken and
oh,
Curtis.
yeah.
So Victoria is actually on the warmer side from Ontario, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you're acclimatized.
Yes.
Yeah, you have no problem. You have no problem.
Yep.
Okay, so now that you're back home, like, and it's no competition. When is your next competition?
Not till February.
February. All right. So in the interim, what, you just go out maybe once a week, twice a week, or keep the wheels moving a bit.
No, we'll be back full in 6 days a week when I go back in November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no training right now.
No, right now I'm off until probably the first week of October. Our first session back with Jeff will be on November 1st. But he wants us to be in somewhat decent shape.
Right.
So I'll start a little bit earlier than that.
Right.
Yeah.
And with any athlete, they have to make sacrifices in their sport. What are some of the sacrifices you've had to make?
The huge one is obviously being away from Bermuda and my family for most of the year. That's definitely a really big challenge that I've had to face. But I'm so fortunate that I have an amazing group that I train with in Victoria that have become like family as well. So it's awesome to have that support. And my family, they make trips out to visit me as well, and they come to some races too. So it's nice to still have their support behind it as well.
So when you are out there, in on the international scene, and you're meeting new colleagues, new friends, and you tell them you're from Bermuda, what's their reaction?
Oh my gosh, they always ask about the Bermuda Triangle. That is always the first question, and, yeah, it's always about the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah,
And what do you tell them?
I just tell them it's not real. Yeah,
But then they talk about the climate and sunny pink sand,
yep, yeah,
turquoise waters.
yep,
It's awesome.
yeah, and they love the Bermuda shorts too.
And the Bermuda
Yep,
shorts.
yep. And they're actually surprised at how much of, a difference we do get, in our seasons. They didn't realize how cold it can get here. Yeah, that's always a big shock to them too, or how far north we are. A lot of them think we're down, in the
In the
Caribbean.
Caribbean, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they always did.
yeah,
Yeah, I heard a lot of that.
yeah.
Yeah, in my travels, I've heard a lot of that. And no, we're not that far.
No.
No, but yeah, and the humidity. Summer we got the humidity, and then in the winter it gets damp.
Yep,
Especially when the wind's coming out of the north.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, Victoria is a lot the same, so it's nice to have that kind of home feel as well there.
nah, I don't like. I don't like the north wind. It's a bit too cool.
Yes.
It goes right through you,
Yep.
and when I travel, you definitely have to layer up.
Yep.
But you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. Wow. So you're looking forward to going back out?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's been an amazing, amazing journey. Yeah.
Right. So when you're out there, you're not training. You guys hang out together, or your friends, and
Yeah. So my roommate, her name is Nan, and she races with me as well. So it's awesome to be able to have the opportunity to live with her and train with her, and yeah, yeah, it's been amazing.
wow, wow. So you said you don't watch sports. I was going to say, there's a lot of winter sports going on
Yeah.
out there. But you don't watch all that.
No.
So it's just training and hanging out with your friends
Yep. And reading.
and reading
Yep.
and listening to country music.
Yep. Yep. Driving my roommate nuts with the country music.
Wow. So
Yeah.
do you think you consider yourself as an ambassador for Bermuda?
I think so. I think, it's such a cool experience, even when I'm just out on the street and everybody comes up to me and, people that I don't know, and know kind of the journey that I've been on, and for them to thank me for representing Bermuda is a huge honor for me, and something that I'm very proud to do. And it's you don't really do this for the people, to kind of give you praise or anything like that. So it's kind of nice to hear how my journey is impacting their lives, or yeah, it's
A-
really special.
And not only inspiring those with disabilities, but also just everybody, period.
Yeah.
Just your spirit, your determination, and say, hey, I've been dealt this hand, but you know what? I'm gonna crack on,
Yep.
and still, enjoy life.
Yep.
So it's definitely inspiring. And going back to Paris, because that's the last competition you did. Is it like, you have supporters, their fans there, and they want to get up close with the athletes. Did you experience any of that? And people come to you for autographs or anything like that?
Not necessarily in Paris, but I have in other competitions as well. So that's pretty cool as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
your celebrity.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It's
I mean,
it's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Really cool.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And what's it like? When you get that opportunity to stand on the podium. You work hard, you put a lot of work into what you're doing, preparation and whatnot, and you go to an event and it all clicks, it all falls into place.
Yeah.
And you get to get on the podium and the national anthem's
Yep.
going and the flag's going
Yeah.
and the tears are streaming.
Yep. Yeah, I know, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And it's there's so many moments in the sport, or individuals just see kind of the high moments. They don't see a lot of what goes on behind the scenes with the training, and the days where it's tough, and I maybe don't have the motivation to go out and train, but I still get out there. So having those moments just makes all those hard times worth it. And um even if I don't make the podium, when I get to a start line, I have a lot of gratitude, I guess, to all the people that have helped me to get to that point. and a lot of gratitude for the opportunity to do what I love.
Wow. And has it ever been a time you said, you get those moments when you don't feel like it? Has it ever, have you ever experienced a moment where you say, look, that's it? I just feel like, that's it.
Uh, Not yet.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself I'll do this until it's not fun anymore or it becomes too much of a job or too much work. Yeah.
So what's some of the biggest challenges you've had to deal with in your career, whether it be with equipment or some physical, or logistics,
Yeah.
or what's some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome?
Yeah. I think the major one was when my first coach, Ken Tom, passed away, because he just gave me such an incredible start to this sport. And at that point, because Bermuda doesn't have a wheelchair track coach, I was very, very lost in knowing whether I could continue on in the sport. But I knew that if I gave it up, Ken would be so disappointed and I would be so disappointed. So I think kind of navigating through that. And that's all thanks to Curtis Tom, his son, who, was going through such an incredibly hard time in his life, not only losing his coach, but his father. And, he stepped in, and even at Ken's funeral, he told me, I got you. And, that was something that I'm so incredibly grateful for Curtis for doing. And, he gave me the opportunity to still continue on in the sport that I love and the sport that his dad loved, the sport that he loves. So I'm very grateful for those 5 years that I worked with Curtis.
That's a great cause and certainly a source of inspiration. So there you go. That's the motivation there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. He really meant a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both did. They're both amazing, amazing people. And yeah, we have I don't know if you saw on my racing chair on the front, I have a sticker of a individual in a race chair and it says go fast and turn left. And that's always the phrase that Ken said to us, because that's what you do in a race, you go fast and you turn left. So when he passed away, my whole track group, we got those stickers made. So we have those on our racing chairs in his memory.
That's so touching,
Yeah.
right? Right, touching.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's smiling down,
Yep.
saying, "Way to go, way to go." Right. That's very heartwarming.
Yeah.
Very heartwarming.
Yeah.
And certainly that will inspire you. And I know
Yep.
I have no doubt you're gonna put your best foot forward. You're
Yep.
gonna continue to put your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
Wow. So okay, so you're finished this year. You're chilling out now, relaxing. Summer's coming to an end.
Yep.
Um, you know, what are the expectations for 2025?
So we have a World Championships next year. We're still waiting to officially hear when and where. But we hear rumblings that it'll be in November in India. So that'll be kind of the next really big thing that we're working towards. So hopefully we'll hear soon if that actually is where it'll be. So we'll work towards that.
Wow,
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
Wow. Another long flight.
Yes. I know there's most competitions we go to are long flights. There's not many on this side of the world. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you definitely got some frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
Right 'em up.
Yep, I just got my 50K status again on Air Canada, so I'm very happy.
Wow. So that are there any other events you got lined up
Yeah.
potentially?
So we'll probably do the IPC Grand Prix in Dubai, which is one that I've done for a few years now. And then we'll do the Grand Prix in Switzerland, which is another one that we always go to, because that track is really fast and it's an event just for wheelchair racers too. So always a great one to go to. And then I'll do Canadian Nationals, which will be in Ottawa in the summer. And I don't think we'll have many before November when Worlds is after that. And
Do you feel blessed to get this opportunity to visit so many different countries, experience so many different cultures?
absolutely, it's always so incredible to go somewhere new. Unfortunately, though, we don't a lot of the times get time to do a lot of sightseeing just because we usually fly in, compete, and then leave. And kind of that's our focus. But we do try to do at least 1 or 2 days of exploring. Yeah.
Wow, that kind of reminded me of a time, and I ran away. You remember James Whitaker? He used to write for
Yeah.
the Bermuda Sun.
Yeah.
Well, James was traveling with the Bermuda Sun, and we went. I was working for the Gazette, and we were down in. We went to Africa,
Oh, wow.
Um, we were down there covering cricket, and I had deadlines every day. James only had to write for the weekend paper. And so James got to do all the safaris and all that. And I was stuck working on it. So I went to Africa, but I really didn't see, but I was happy just to, experience,
Yeah.
going to the motherland. So I was happy with that. But James did it all. And he'd come back and show me the photos and everything. And I just shook my head.
Yep.
Yeah, so I really understand what you mean. You're there, but
Yeah.
you really don't get to see, a lot of the, do the touristy thing.
Exactly, yeah.
But just being there is a blessing, I think. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
wow. Well, your passport must be, you must
Yeah, a lot of stamps.
run out of pages.
There's a lot of stamps for sure.
Wow, amazing, amazing. So definitely a lot of excitement, building, anticipation for next year. Um, what else is it that keeps you going? I mean, especially in this time now. I know your adrenaline's going, you still want to compete,
Yeah.
but you got to take it easy now, and that's important too, isn't
Yeah.
it? Getting rest.
Yeah, definitely. I think I definitely needed this time off away from the sport, just I think from a mental standpoint as well. Because it does take a lot to, train every day and to um kind of prepare yourself to go into a big competition like that, and especially one where maybe the expectations that I had on myself weren't all met. So kind of just dealing with those feelings that come with that. So I think definitely having this break is good. But I definitely am starting to get the itch to get back into it, and I'm excited to do that.
Definitely, I like any other athlete would be.
Yep.
Wow. So going back to Paris again, I know we keep going in and out. Um, you know, you had expectations. Um, what did it feel like when you didn't get on the podium? Were you disappointed in any way, or you just took it in stride?
I was a little disappointed, just because, like I said, I went in with the third fastest time this year, and that time was the America's region record. And that was a big goal that I wanted to achieve this year, was to break that record, because that record stood, I think, for like 27 years. So when I achieved that, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is an amazing year, and I'm moving fast, and that gave me a lot of confidence going in. And I did feel in Paris, like for the first time, that this was a opportunity that I could potentially make the podium. So it definitely was a challenge to navigate those feelings. But I'm still really happy with the way that I executed the race, and still really happy to be within, be that close of a group with some really strong and incredible athletes. Yeah.
And definitely gives you even more incentive to
Yes.
not this time, but we're gonna be back.
Yes, and I think too, like I said earlier, was working with Jeff just for the year. We've made some incredible improvements, and in this sport, it does take a little bit of time for your body to adjust to the changes that you're making. So I'm really excited to jump into this next 4 years under Jeff. Because we've only had a year really of training. So I'm excited to see what comes out of the next 4 years.
And that transition has been pretty smooth, from his
Yep.
his methodology, his techniques and whatnot,
Yeah.
to what you might have done previously. That transition's been fairly smooth.
It was definitely very sore in the beginning. I was very, very sore. But I think we've gotten to a point where it's kind of in the groove now, and I'm really excited for this next chapter.
All right, so we're gonna see an improve, even more improved.
I sure hope so.
Definitely come 2025.
Yep,
All right, as they say, no pain, no gain.
exactly. Yeah.
And when you feel the pain,
Yeah.
you're doing something right, right?
Exactly.
You know you're doing something right.
Yep.
Wow. So, what advice would you give anyone out there who may be in your predicament, in your situation, may not even necessarily be an athlete? They may be down emotionally, about their, coming to terms, with their disability. What advice would you give them?
I think just to believe in yourself. We everybody deals with a certain challenge in their life. For me, my challenge is visible, and there is a lot of individuals that have challenges that you can't see. So just having belief that you have everything within you to create the life that you want to create.
And
Yeah.
go. Always believe yourself. Back yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. You're truly extraordinary.
Thank you.
Extraordinary athlete, and extraordinary human being.
Thank you.
Definitely an inspiration for me.
Yeah.
'Cause if you can do it, we all can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
that must make you feel proud.
Yes.
I can see it in your smile.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, I've had a lot of amazing people in my life help me get to where I am. So if I can, give back even just a little bit to somebody else, I'm all in for that.
yeah. Well, you can
Yeah.
show some love for some of those people. Who's some of those people that's other people? You've named over a few. Who's some of the others that have been in your corner over the years?
Definitely, my family, they've been amazing from day one. My incredible training group, and Austin, Isaiah, Cody, they've been phenomenal and especially this past year because we all moved out to BC to work with Jeff. So it's great that we were able to stay connected in that way. And my boyfriend Sartuk has been amazing too. Yeah, I've got a lot of great people.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And credit to each and every one. Credit to each and every one. Anybody else you want to shout out?
Uh,
Give a shout out to? I think we're gonna wrap it up.
I think that's everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you ready to get some advice? So, Jessica, it's been a pleasure having you on board.
Thanks so much.
It's been a blast, actually. I haven't stopped smiling. What do you say? Go straight and turn left. Go fast.
Go fast and turn left.
Go fast and turn left.
Yeah.
Well, folks, fortunately, we've come to the end of another wonderful show, but I just want to give a thanks to our co-producers before we leave, to our sponsors, and as well as you, the viewing public, and also just looking forward to seeing you again real soon, right here on Up Close with yours truly, Colin Thompson.